All right, so we're going to be creating this website, and this website is going to have 4 pages to it, and this is how it's going to look when we get done. So the first thing we have to do is set up the structure, which means we need to go into Windows Explorer. We're going to do it in assignment 4, and I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to do new and folder, and that folder is going to be tennis. And then inside that folder, I'm going to create another folder, and that's going to be images. And then I'm going to create a text file, and that text file is going to be template.html. Get rid of this .txt. And when this comes up and asks you to say, do you know what you're doing? We're going to say yes. And then one more text file. So I'm going to right mouse click, and then I'm going to do new and text file, text document. And this is going to be styles.css. Remember, all lowercase, no spaces for everything. And we'll say yes. Okay, so that's all done. So the next thing we want to do is we need to get 2 things, and that is content, and we need to get our images. So if we go on to the lesson page, we can see that we have this zip file. The zip file is called content.zip, not .content.html. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to download to the system tray. And then I'm going to open it up and click on open. Okay, that's going to open up this. And what I want to do is I want to extract all files, but I don't want to stick it in my downloads folder. I want to stick it into my tennis folder. So I'm going to navigate to my 162 student, 162 assignments, assignment 4, and there's my tennis folder. That's where I want this to be sent. So now I'm going to tell it to select that folder and extract all the files. So it's extracting those files, and we can see now that we have all these files now in our assignment, in our tennis folder. 2 of these files, though, the female and the male, those are the picture files. So those need to go into images. So I can just simply grab them and drop them into images. Goes 1, and there goes 2. Okay, it's important that I put them in an images folder. So I have this content and template and styles. So now if I go back and click on assignment 4 so I can see my tennis folder, I'm ready to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start up Sublime Text. And after that opens, I'm going to be able to drag that tennis folder into the software. Now you can see that I still have first web there. It's important that you get rid of this. So this is what we worked on last week, and I'm going to right mouse click on it and tell it to remove that file folder from the project, because I'm not using that. I'm using a different folder. You don't want to have more than one project in your Sublime Text at a time. All right, again, I'll go into assignment 4. There's my tennis folder. I will drag that now onto Sublime Text, and bam, it's there. And I have that content file, styles, and template. So that's this, and if I open up this images, we can see that my 2 images files are there too. So let's see, where are we? Okay, we're ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do is open up my template.html. Now, last time we called it index.html. Index is our home page, and we found that out with a STUI because the file we really want to look at was STUI, but the index page was that first page we created, and we linked them together. Here, we're going to have a template.html page that no one will ever see, and then we'll have an index and then all the other pages along with it. So once I open it up, I'm going to type HTML and press tab, and it's going to give me the start of my website. If it doesn't, you're just going to have to type everything. All right, so in my HTML, I want to add an attribute to that, and that is language. So if I type L and then do lang and then en, all right, and then right inside the head above the title, I'm going to type meta, and it's going to automatically put in that. And then in my title, I'm going to put in Trident tennis. And actually the title for all the pages are going to be different, but they're all going to start with Trident tennis. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is put in my my description and my viewport. And through the miracle of modern technology, it miraculously goes there. I didn't want to have to take the time. It's going to take too long to type all that out. But you don't use the less than symbol. Let me just show you how that would work. Instead of typing meta, I do less than symbol meta, right? And then when I press space, and then I'll start doing name and then description. And there it is, because I already did it. Description. And then next to that, I'll do content. And again, you do automatically fill out. And for content on the template page, it means nothing. That's why I have this here. The other one, again, if you don't know how to do this one, the viewport equals content. This is what's going to allow it to look good on our phones. So it has to be there. And I can tell you the truth, I end up looking it up on the internet every time I do it. So I didn't bother typing it. And then the last thing we're going to do is our link tag. And that's because we want to link this to styles.css. Again, make sure it looks the same as this, or it's not going to work. And then we don't need this. So there we go. We're ready to go. We're not going to build anything else on this website right now, but we want to make sure that style CSS works. So what we need to do is open up style CSS and add a attribute. Actually, first we're going to do is add a selector. We want to select the body and then the braces, and we're going to do background color. And the background color we want to use is forest screen. Again, my favorite website for colors is htmlcolorcodes.com and then the color names. And the reason why I do that is there's 140 of them. So you can use any 16.7 million colors, but this pretty much gives you a good rounding of different kinds of colors that you could possibly use. So we want a dark green. Where is that? Yeah, forest green. So this is the one we want to use right here. So I'm simply going to copy the RGB. I could use RGB or I could use hex. What most web developers use is RGB. And that's because if I want to go ahead and add some transparency to it, I just add an A and then add a fourth number, and it allows me to set that transparency. So RGB is pretty much what everybody uses. These are the hex codes are the old, and then the names make things easier, but you never want to put names on there. I'd hate for you to go for a job interview, show them a website you've done at Trident Tech, and they see forest green in the color. All right, so we don't do things, we do things hard. All right, so now I have that background color set for the body, and I have everything set up, including a body segment here. So I'll just do File and Save All. All right, and the next thing to do is go into my tennis folder, right mouse click on my template, and wait. I don't know why. I think it's the video that I'm using that causes it to whole mess up on my manager. It doesn't do it unless I'm recording. Okay, so I right mouse click and do Open With, and then Google Chrome. And then it's going to go open up here, and it's going to be a forest green background. So at this point, All we wanted to do was set up the structure, which we have. So we have everything we need. Let's take a look at the content for a second. This is the content. The aside is going to go on all pages. The footer is going to go on all pages. So we're going to hard code that into the template. The rest of the pages, index, academy programs, let's see, the membership and mission. You can see I have them all numbered and I have the file name I'm going to use for that file. Then I have the content for that page. Each of the pages also have a title and a description. I want to have all this done prior to developing because this is the hard part, trying to get all this content down. Once the content is done, the fun part is creating a web page from it. The hard part is this right here, and you're going to have to do that for your client. So I'm going to be talking about that through each of the weeks and reminding you that you need to be creating content. And what I recommend that you do is actually do this in Microsoft Word, because Microsoft Word will tell you where all your typographical errors are and where all your um, bad English is, that your English not so good. And so that will allow your content to be pretty much error free. Then I would copy it and paste it into the content.html page and then just add some markup if you want. It's easier to add the markup here than it is to be doing that every time you're trying to develop pages. It's nice if everything's marked up, and you'll see implementing this onto pages is going to be really, really fast. And that's because the markup has already been there. And the rest of it's all styling. And the styling part of the class really is where the most enjoyment comes and the most frustrating. All right, that's it for this lesson. Next one, we're going to start building the HTML.